I feel like I haven't done a bike video in a while. Thought maybe today's the day. Not that it's a special occasion or anything, but I thought, it's always something that you want to communicate or something that you want to celebrate and share with your friends. And today's important thing that I want to share is that I've just had a quick word with my supervisor at my day job, and I asked him, is there a chance that I can take a quick vacation? I wasn't planning on going anywhere, but I have so much stuff that I want to do at home that I want to take care of, and it just would be better if my day job wouldn't get in the way. So that would mean I'd get 3 days back in my week, and that would mean I hopefully get a lot of stuff done. So he has said, well, the earliest I can give you is the week from the 8th of July, so the one after Memorial Day weekend, and that would just work out really well. So yes, vacation is in. This is one of those things. That's partly why I wanted to do this, and perhaps I should do that perhaps on a monthly basis, take 1 week a month off from my day job. That would give me time back from my creative projects. Perhaps I should do that. That's an interesting thing. So yeah, so by the time this video goes on YouTube, it goes live, is probably when I'm on vacation already. So it's kind of crazy. You really have to think a few weeks into the future, because the time will be here sooner than we want to know. It happens so fast. Time just goes like that, doesn't it? So yes, editing videos. I have so much footage, like how I built the Z600, how I built the Z800, and all that sort of thing. That's all footage that's there that needs to be edited. So those are 2 videos. Perhaps I'm going to combine them into one, but it takes time, of course. Then there is that presentation Dr. Kuznia gave about 4 weeks ago here in the South Shore Community Center that I've recorded, but it's not edited and it's not online. So there we go. There's also from the Oncology Symposium, I wanted to turn these lectures into audio feeds. It also takes some time, so I have to do that. This is not something I have to do, it's something I want to do. And I think that's a very important difference there. If there's something that you have to do, that I always associate that with something that I don't really want to do, and hence there's less passion behind that. So these things I choose to do. These are things that I want to do, and hence I choose to put emphasis on that and choose to spend some time with these things. So very important to distinguish between having to do something and wanting to do something. That's that. There's so many other things. There's this animation I'm currently working on, very exciting, inspired by the fluffy hairballs and the fluffy dancing monsters there. I believe Brian had a really interesting expression for that the Japanese have for something that is both cute as well as gross at the same time. And that's exactly what that feels like. So very cool. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that input. Something kawaii. I can't recall it at the moment. But by the time I edit this, it'll probably be at the bottom there somewhere. So yes, speaking of Brian, his book, of course, I've got up to chapter 21, I believe, in the can. Just edited another chapter or 2 this morning, so that's cool. But I'd like to spend more time on those things rather than going shopping for my community. And it's nice to strike a balance there, but recently I feel that I'm more at home with my creative projects, especially if they are starting to become financially lucrative. So that's something that I've spotted there. This is another video I wanted to make literally 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago about how am I doing on YouTube financially, and in this whole open creative venture, how am I doing in this financially, because eventually it would be awesome if that could sustain me. And I think I'm kind of on the way into that direction. How that is sustainable and how that's going to develop over the next 3 or 5 years, that is anyone's guess, of course, but it looks like I'm well on track. So especially super chat donations are amazing. There's an amazing supplement for the advertising revenue from YouTube videos. That's very interesting. So there's a whole big dynamic there, and it would be nice to have a check-in and put something on tape so that I remember at which point I did what and how I did at what point in time, and how this is kind of starting to come together, because it literally started with several cents a month several years ago, and now it's, I believe, the last 28 days just on YouTube alone was something around $170, and I believe $70 of that was just super chat revenue. And remember, super chat is something that I don't get 100% off. Quite the opposite. There's another whole dynamic going on there. Google take 30% of the stuff they take 30%, creators get 70%. But sometimes if you make a super chat donation from your iPhone, then you make the transaction technically via Apple. So Apple get 30% of that. That means there's 70% that goes to Google, of which 70% they take 30% and I get the rest. So usually if you make a super chat donation from a mobile device, then I end up with roughly 50% of the money that you're donating. Whereas if you do it from the desktop or from a web browser, then I believe I end up closer to something like 70%. So interesting dynamics there. But you know, this is not something that is open. So it's interesting to visit that. Whereas Patreon donations, for example, I get to keep 95%. So that's a much higher percentage. And PayPal donations, same thing. I get to keep about 95% of the transaction revenue there. But there's another video I've uploaded at the moment. I had my colonoscopy done, so just afterwards I had a little video, and had I been able to do that live on this channel, then I should have just done that. But YouTube no longer allow me to do that because I don't have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch minutes. I think it's 1,000 subscribers that you need for live streaming on a channel from a mobile device. So that's another thing. I should have, I think in hindsight, I think I should have just done that live on my main channel and then just do away with the whole channel separation type thing. I've seen people having good success with that. I've also seen people who have success with splitting them, but they're way larger. So I'm not even a small fish in the pond, really. So maybe it's just separating projects only really makes sense if you're looking at, I don't know, 100,000 plus subscribers. But hey, who cares really? At the moment it's just all fun and games, and it makes me happy, and I think that's the only thing that counts. So, but speaking of that colonoscopy video, which is basically, I think it's online, I just haven't written the description yet and haven't made it public yet. So, you know, because things just get in the way all the time. And there's another one that I wanted to make at the desk at home, and I'll show you the results of my latest CT scan. It's a very exciting interface. They give you a CD if you request one, and the CD comes with a browser-based software with which you can view the images both for Mac and for Windows. It's a very exciting software that lets you either view just a single view or 4 views and compare views and literally cut down the body into slices, and I'd love to share that with you, but of course it takes a little bit of time to make. So there we go. That is all that I have planned. A week of vacation certainly will come in handy there. Right now I need to go shopping for my community and earn some cash. Yes, so that is what this is all about. By the way, I'm making, speaking of income, I'm making about $300 a week with this venture. And it is a tricky one, because as soon as my creative projects would exceed that, then it is time to quit this job. But until such time, I'm gonna have to go shopping. So I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.